Welcome to the Stories Unheard channel. Why do people cheat? And will the truth always come out? It did in Dwayne's case, and here's what he did about it. Dwayne Thomas quit his corporate job and started his own business 10 years ago. His wife, Lisa, on the other hand, refused to go into business with her husband and continued climbing the corporate ladder. She'd been doing it for a little over 20 years, working long hours and weekends, and she still was nowhere near where she wanted to be career-wise. Dwayne and Lisa were the poster couple, both handsome and smart. They met right out of college a long time ago, got married quickly, and had two beautiful children, Amy and Evan. Both of their kids had already left for college, so Dwayne and Lisa had recently found themselves with much more free time than they had in a long time. So they both started looking for new hobbies to fill their days. Lisa took up running in the morning, while Dwayne started assembling model airplanes. Their life seemed very stable and predictable, and simply too good to be true. That was the case until one day when Lisa went away on a business trip. It wasn't anything unusual, as her firm had offices in two cities, so she had to travel to the other office very often. However, this time, one of Dwayne's friends asked him for a lift to the airport. Dwayne was happy to help. He didn't yet know that this decision would alter the rest of his life. As he was dropping his friend off, Dwayne saw some of Lisa's colleagues leaving the airport. He was confused because his wife was supposed to be away for another 2 days. Dwayne decided not to rush to any conclusions and called his wife. She didn't pick up the phone immediately, but when she did, she claimed to have been in a meeting and got annoyed that Dwayne was interrupting. "I'm sorry, love. I didn't mean to. I just wanted to check in and see if you were coming home in 2 days, as planned. Couldn't you have texted me? You know that I'm working here, right?" "Yes, Dwayne. I'm coming home in 2 days." "Okay, good. I want to prepare something special for you when you get back. I miss you." "I miss you too." "I'll be home soon." Lisa's tone of voice changed noticeably. "Did the rest of your team get to go home already?" "No, we're all here." "Why are you asking?" "No reason. I was just thinking that it must be very hard on families with young kids." They wrapped up the conversation, and Dwayne got to thinking. He couldn't find a logical explanation for his wife's blatant lie. On his way home, Dwayne got a call from his best friend Josh, who could sense that something was bugging Dwayne. At first, Dwayne didn't want to share, but then he thought that some outside perspective could do him some good. Unfortunately, his friend also couldn't come up with a plausible explanation for Lisa's lie. Instead, he voiced the option that Dwayne was desperately trying not to even think about. "I know you don't want to hear it, but maybe Lisa is cheating on you? Remember Jeremy? You met him at my birthday party last year. He's a private investigator. You could talk to him. Maybe it's worth checking what your wife is up to." Dwayne didn't say anything, but Josh promised to send him Jeremy's phone number, just in case. Dwayne got home, poured himself a drink, and tried to figure out what he felt and what he wanted. It didn't take him long to realize that he needed to know the truth no matter what it was. He gave Jeremy a call and told him about the situation at the airport and how he couldn't help but wonder what his wife was up to. The conversation was rather unpleasant. Jeremy asked all kinds of questions about Lisa's schedule and habits, such as if she ever left the room without her phone. The more questions Dwayne answered, the more he realized that things had been off for quite some time now, but he simply didn't want to notice it. Jeremy told Dwayne that he'll get someone to tail his wife on her business trip while he snooped around at her office. Meanwhile, he told Josh to snoop around Lisa's things at home. Dwayne didn't know what exactly he was looking for, but he went looking anyway. He started with the bathroom. Then he checked Lisa's dresser and closet. The closet was full of boxes. He went through them one by one, but couldn't find anything suspicious. He checked her office, the kitchen, and the den. He tore the house apart but didn't find any clues as to what was going on. Unable to get a grip on himself, Dwayne made a drink and sat in front of the TV, hoping that a movie could distract him. He fell asleep right there on the couch, tossing and turning all night long. Jeremy called back in the evening of the next day. He asked Dwayne if he was sure he was ready to hear the truth. Dwayne took a deep breath and confirmed his intentions. Your wife's having an affair, and it looks like it's been going on for a very long time. We still have a lot of digging to do to give you the details, if you want them. But we checked her schedule and compared it to the schedules of her colleagues, and she always stays behind for a couple of days on her business trips. It seems that when everyone else checks out of the hotel, she simply switches rooms to stay with someone named Roger Boeing. Do you know anyone by that name? I know Lisa dated some guy named Roger back in college, but she never mentioned his last name. It was so long ago. It couldn't be him, could it? I'm pretty sure it is him, and I'm also pretty sure their relationship never truly ended. That's when Dwayne's head started spinning. Could this be possible? Could Lisa have been having an affair the entire time they were together? He simply couldn't believe it. They were so happy. They had kids together. Why would she do any of this? Dwayne, are you all right? Jeremy pulled Dwayne out of his spiral. Yes, I'm here. Okay, so what's our next step? Well, now it's up to you. I can get you irrefutable proof that your wife's been having an affair for a long time. You could use it in court if you decide to divorce her. Or you could continue living your life as if nothing has changed. Jeremy voiced Dwayne's options as he saw them. Well, that's definitely not going to happen. Get me all the proof you can, and I'll start looking for a lawyer, Dwayne said. There's something else. I know this is the last thing you want to hear, but if I were you, I'd get a DNA test, just to make sure the kids are actually yours, Jeremy said, and lowered his eyes. It was truly the worst part of his job, breaking someone's illusion of their happy family. Do you think my kids could actually be his kids? Oh my God, this can't be happening. Dwayne was mortified. You don't have to do anything about it. It won't really change anything, so you don't have to drag your kids into this. No, I need to know the whole truth. What do you need? Their hair samples or something? They continued to talk over the details of the DNA test and how to proceed from there. When Jeremy finally left, Dwayne couldn't help himself but pour a drink to try and calm his nerves. I hope this doesn't turn me into an alcoholic, he thought wearily. He couldn't believe Lisa had been lying to him their entire life together. He just couldn't wrap his head around it. Having pulled himself together, Dwayne called another one of his friends who'd recently divorced his wife. He wanted to get the name of his lawyer. Then he called the lawyer, shared all the details of his situation, and got instructions on how to proceed. The key was not to let Lisa know what was happening, but Dwayne didn't know if he'd be able to do that. He realized that he needed the element of surprise, that he couldn't give her time to prepare her defense, but he also couldn't imagine hugging her or kissing her, or even talking to her like nothing had changed. At this point, Dwayne couldn't come up with anything better than taking a spontaneous trip to visit his kids at college. He decided to spend a couple of days with each kid, which would hopefully give the PI and the lawyer enough time to get everything ready. He called his wife and was beyond relieved to get her voicemail. Hey Lisa, it's been kind of slow at work this week, and I've been feeling lonely, so I decided to take a spontaneous trip to visit the kids. I'll be gone about a week. I hope that's okay with you. You could join me if you can get away from work. I'll forward you the itinerary. Bye, hun. Dwayne hung up and felt like throwing up. The only thing that was good was that he was 100% sure that she wouldn't be able to get away and join him on this trip. Lisa called him about an hour later, but Dwayne intentionally let her call go to voicemail. As he expected, she apologized for being unable to join him, but then came the kicker. Since Dwayne would be away anyhow, she was simply going to extend her business trip, allegedly so she wouldn't have to go back next week. That made Dwayne really angry, but at least he didn't actually have to go anywhere and still wouldn't have to see her face for another week. He knew he was in no state of mind to see his kids, and now that Lisa wasn't coming home, he didn't have to. He did, however, decide to stay home and didn't go into work for the next couple of days. He spent his days waiting and drinking. Finally, the PI brought over the full report. It had pictures, emails, hotel receipts, and so on. Dwayne decided not to go through it all, but simply forwarded this information to his lawyer. That was enough to file a lawsuit and make sure Lisa didn't get anything in the divorce. Then came the hardest part, the DNA test results. Dwayne had already decided that it couldn't and wouldn't change the way he felt about his kids, but he needed to know if Lisa would be able to use this information against him in any way. He held his breath as he opened the envelope. Thank God, was all Dwayne could say as actual tears started rolling down his cheeks. He was the biological father of his children. Now that the scariest part was over, Dwayne felt somewhat relieved, and when the lawyer called to let him know that the divorce papers were ready, he didn't feel as devastated as he thought he would. Another couple of days later, Lisa came home. She barely talked to her husband this week and could feel that something was off, but she was hoping that he was simply busy with their kids. Unfortunately, she decided to call them and check on their father's visit, which was when she realized that Dwayne lied to her. As soon as she saw Dwayne, she attacked him with accusations. I know you didn't go visit the kids. What have you been up to? Why are you lying to me? Are you having an affair? Lisa blurted out. Dwayne couldn't help himself and simply laughed in her face. Am I having an affair? Am I having an affair? Are you effing kidding me? Where do you come off accusing me of that? I know everything about you and Roger. Lisa looked mortified. She kept opening and closing her mouth like a fish out of water. She came in feeling wronged, but it turned out that her secret was out. Here are the divorce papers. Sign them and pack. I want you out of this house and out of my life. But Dwayne, we've been through so much together. We have kids. I know I hurt you, and I'm so sorry about that. But can't we at least try to work it out? I don't want to lose you. I don't know why I let it go on for so long. It's like a bad habit, like an addiction, but I'll get better, I promise. Lisa pleaded. Don't you dare talk to me about our kids. Do you know what I had to go through waiting for the paternity test results? Do you have any idea what you've put me through? You've been lying to me our entire life together. Get out. Lisa realized there was nothing she could do or say to change Dwayne's mind. They were over. She ruined everything, and now she would have to live with it. As Dwayne watched Lisa pack and leave, his heart was breaking. He couldn't help but think that maybe they could try again, start anew, but he reminded himself that Lisa was never honest with him. They started out like that, with her lying and cheating. He needed to let her go and move on. The divorce was quick, and thanks to all the information gathered by the private investigator, Lisa didn't get much in the divorce. She tried to get together with Roger, but it turned out that he never wanted her full time. He liked their arrangement, and it was more than enough for him. Lisa realized that she ruined her life, broke up her family, and all over a man who didn't want her. Meanwhile, Dwayne was trying to glue himself back together. One night, he was hanging out with his friends at a bar when he locked eyes with a beautiful woman. Her name was Sonia, and 6 months later, she would marry Dwayne, and they would go on to live a happy life together, which would have no room for lies and betrayal. If you enjoyed this story, check out other videos on our channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe.